Sometimes when people first are introduced to your techniques, there can be a bit of an overwhelm because they're not prepared for the technical nature of them. What would you say to people to help them get through that initial overwhelm so that they stick around to get the ultimate simplicity and good stuff it leads to?
I would say don't try to understand it, get used to it. There's a Japanese proverb, narao yori nareyo, which literally means that. It's not a matter of learning it, it's a matter of getting accustomed to it. Someone once asked a very prominent 20th century mathematician, John von Neumann, about the mathematics that he had used during a lecture. They said, Professor von Neumann, I can't understand your math. And he said, math is not something you understand. Math is something you get used to. And when I heard that, it was hugely helpful for me. You listen and you think and you practice and you read and you listen and you think and you practice and you read and you listen and you think and you practice and read over and over and over again. And with time, it sinks in. There is a reason why I formulated that copious and precise vocabulary. In the long run, it's going to hopefully allow people to work smarter. Because the old-fashioned way, where you have to just sort of discover it on your own, and often it's a brute force method, you just have to put yourself through such horrific ordeals that at some point you're just forced to experience certain states and forced to do certain things. Well, the average modern person is not going to intentionally put themselves through that kind of thing. So my idea was, okay, instead of the brute force methods, if we can make the formulation crystal clear. Yes, up front, it takes a little bit of work because it's like we're being sent back to school. It's like, what? I have to learn vocabulary, I have to learn definitions, I have to make subtle distinctions with regards to things that seem irrelevant or that I haven't experienced. So I do understand that people have that resistance at the beginning. There's always strong points and weak points in every way of working. The weak point in the way that I work, one of them, is that up front you're asked to really carefully think about the nature of sensory experience, to have a classificatory system for sensory experience and also for the things that lead beyond sensory experience. And it's described in a vocabulary that is something like the rigor and precision that we would find in mathematics. So it's like, whoa, that you're right. That's like a major stumbling block for people because they don't expect to have to work that way.
They're thinking they're coming to a retreat and they'll
it's going to be Zen poetry and a finger pointing to the hazy moon, and suddenly it's like calculus. What am I doing here? Okay. However, my idea is that for that relatively small investment up front, in the end, it will allow them to work smarter and be able to achieve the classic goals. I don't necessarily say faster, but with less necessity for horrific intensities. Because when you hear about the sort of traditional trainings that are done,
and you're talking monastery.
Yeah, monastic intensities. Okay. Like, whoa, who wants to put themselves through that kind of thing? So my idea is by giving people this very precise vocabulary and having them maybe work a little smarter, that in the end that will allow them to have comparable depth of experience, but still have their normal North American or modern, let's say, comfortable lifestyle. So yes, it's some investment up front, but I think number one, if they realize how much it's going to help down the line, and number two, if they just take it gradually, just gradually get used to it. That's what I would say with regards
maybe
to that.
take a break and easing up, bearing down and easing up to balance, so that if they've been working very hard, they can ease up and do something that would be less intense.
Well, I think you're asking with regards to learning the vocabulary, is that correct?
Well, I was actually talking about, first coming in with all the 5 ways and all the techniques and that potential overwhelm. I remember before the 5 ways, when I first went to one of your retreats, I said, I was in an online with you, and I said, this is like playing scales. This is technical work. I'm having to pay attention and really play scales. And I stopped being a classical musician because I didn't want to practice my scales. And you said, it is like playing scales, but the music is your life. And I thought, good answer. So that you're developing the skill to use in your life.
Well, I would say that the reason I present people with several approaches is not that I necessarily want them to learn how to do all those approaches. I would like them to be exposed to a range of possibilities so that they can find what works for them. Some people like the flexibility of having 5 contrasting ways of working, but some people like will just choose one of those 5 and decide that's all I'm going to go for. But at least they can see the range of what is available.
Possible. Okay.
And then, so the idea is not that you have to learn this giant system. The idea is all you have to do is find one good technique that works for you. And then if you want to just stay with that, fine. If you want to learn other things, that's fine too. So I think the combination of realizing that you only need one good technique, plus giving yourself time to get used to the vocabulary and take it slowly, plus realizing that the complexity and the scrupulous precision will in the end pay off, because you'll be able to work smarter and get more bang for the buck, so to speak. I think keeping that in mind may help people a little bit with the challenges of studying meditation with a demented physics professor. Somebody once called me that.
A demented physics
Yeah,
professor.
I like that.
You can use it. Okay.